Hi, Wolfpack fans. I'm Jeff Gravely.
I'm Tony Haynes.
And I'm Matt Chasnow.
And this is Pulse of the Pack.
Your humble hosts this week are me, Tony Haynes, and the first-year voice of the Wolfpack, Matt Chasnow. Look forward to chatting with you on the podcast this week. And by the way, your first year, what's your first year been like so far?
No, it's been amazing. I mean, for the things I can control, at least, or be a part of directly and have my hand in. I mean, I knew what this would be, or at least I had a pretty strong sense in my mind's eye. And truly, thanks to the welcome by you, by Johnny and Jeff Gravely and Andrew Sanders and everybody, David Modlin, I could name the whole crew. I mean, it's been wonderful. I love it, and I feel grateful for the opportunity.
Well, you know, you're in your first year, but moving forward, we're not always going to be this nice. Okay, I just want to issue that warning.
It's a long game. It's a long,
it's a long season, and for you, it's going to be a long career, and I look forward to that for you as well. Well, a break in the action for the NC State men's basketball team, and perhaps this is a team needs a little break in the schedule this week after so many of these close, excruciating losses. Wolfpack doesn't return to the floor until Saturday. SMU visits the Lenovo Center. NC State women continue to play well in the ACC. It went over Virginia last Sunday. The women's team now 6-1 in league play. They have one roadie on Thursday night up at Syracuse before coming back home over the weekend. But we're going to focus mainly on the men. That's you and I broadcast the men's team. And, you know, there are two types of teams right now that are having a tough time getting over the hump and winning games. On one side, you look at a program like Miami. You know, they've lost 7 in a row, but the Canes are rarely competitive. They're not the only ones. There are a lot of teams right now sitting here in late January. They're losing games. They're losing games by double digits. And you wonder, as a coach, how do you keep your team together and moving forward for the rest of the season? It's tough when you take the floor most nights and feel like we probably don't have a chance. Right in the back of your mind, maybe some coaches think that. NC State's on the other side of that right now. You know, you're only one rebound, one shot, one loose ball away from having a totally different record. You know, you look where the Wolfpack stands right now, 2-5 in league play, but during this current 3-game losing streak, they've lost those 3 games by a whopping total of 7 points. Again, these narrow, close misses, as frustrating as they are, they suggest that this is still a team with plenty of season left that has what it takes to win enough games to kind of turn things around.
Well, from the jump, based on last year into this year, everything that you had predicted has actually come to fruition, and in a good way, right? In a productive way. You said last year was the ultimate test of patience and reflecting how if you are patient, amazing things can happen, right? When teams gel and come together, and that this year would be a slow cooker, would be a crock pot. Right, you're bringing all these new guys together. Start off the year, we knew Mike James would be out, so you start off banged up in an impactful way. And the style of the team has been different from what Coach Keats has done in the past in a lot of ways. The turnovers have been consistent, but the scoring levels are down. Yeah. You're trying to win in the 60s as opposed to the 80s, right? And so they're figuring that out a little bit. You know, to be in close games, this is certainly not Miami. I mean, I know you're only 2 games ahead in the standings, but this is a very different recipe than what the Hurricanes are going through right now. But it's as equally unlikely you lose as many close games as you win this many close. You know, they've been on the bad side of what data actually reflects, and we talked about with Coach Keats on the show this week, of data-driven bad luck. Mm-hmm. Late games are often regarded as coin flips, statistically. It's hard to lose this many close games.
Here's 10 to shoot. Bounces it right elbow, Washington. Kick right side. Jackson open for 3. It's up and down. Same play. That now defers left for Hill. Spins through the defense for North Carolina. Penetrates righty scooper for the tie. Feathers it in. Right side. Hill ties it at 61. 87 seconds left. Speeds foul line. Wraps it behind his back. Drives left lane line. Throws it over his shoulder. Washington catches it. Dunks left post. 25 seconds left. Lobs it up top. O'Connell at 9. Bounces it ahead at 7 now. Dishes right for Taylor at 6. Drives into the lane. Taylor floats. Righty push blocked away. Pinballs down to Washington. Clock goes to zeros. They do not call goaltend. Coach Keats imploring the officials to review. They will not, and that's the ballgame.
At 8. O'Connell has to hurry. Finds Middlebrooks. 2 seconds, right to the rim. Ben Middlebrooks lays it up and in. In the first half, Castle Coliseum roaring the defense on. Hill off the window and in. Marcus Hill delivers.
Wow, just getting them in the offense. Being a press release guy.
Jaden shoot for 3. Got it! It's a 1-point game.
I think they're going to go for Hill for the elbow ISO here.
Hill. Lowell got a piece of it. Virginia Tech with the ball, trailing by 1. Shoot for 3. Missed it. Bounces out. Shoot. Regathers. And a foul called with 2.3 seconds. And shoot for the lead. Got it. Into Middlebrook. Stolen away. Ben Burnham finishes it with a flush. And Virginia Tech wins it.
Bounces left wing Stojakovic. Taylor all over him, prides the ball free, tracks it down half court. On the break, Taylor for the tie, puts it in, and the foul. Place goes wild. Tied at 61 with 80 seconds to play. Steal and a bucket for Taylor on the break. Shovels it right, Blacksher 17 to shoot. Speeds into the lane, rises up, lefty layup is in. Blacksher has 15. Minute left. Bounces up top, Huntley Hatfield. Hands it off to O'Connell, 7 seconds left. Here's pass on the catch, left wing. 4 seconds left. Rise and fire for the tie. Missed it left. Rebound Cal. And that does it. NC State falls here at home to the Golden Bears. 65-62.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Coca-Cola. Crisp, refreshing, and irresistibly tasty. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling. But what's really made Ford F-Series #1 is you.
Now get up to $11,624 in total savings on select 2024 F-150s, only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
This segment of Pulse of the Pack is presented by Coca-Cola.
I'm Tony Haynes, along with the voice of the Wolfpack, Matt Chasanow. Before we get to basketball, we got plenty of time to do that. Coach, I know that every year on this day, you like to recognize what this day stands for, Martin Luther King Day, as we honor the great civil rights icon who contributed to turning this country in the right direction. You got a lot on your mind right now, but is this a day of reflection for you?
Well, it is. Obviously, when you talk about Martin Luther King, the thing that really sticks out for you is his fight for equality. And, especially in today's time, that means so much. And I think sometimes, as our, leaders are heroes, as the years go by. Sometimes we forget to obviously to respect and pay respect to those. And certainly today I would love to pay respect to, the great Dr. Martin Luther King and all that he's done in his fight. And hopefully that will continue throughout, with people that, believed in what his vision was.
Is there space and time and the pressures and the flurry of a college basketball season to talk big picture stuff with the team and get into some things that are more important than basketball?
Well, it always is. And you try not to, in the world of NIL, you try not to make everything so much transactional, because that certainly can be. And, you have to stay focused on the big picture. And, eventually these young men are going to go out into the real world, and they're going to be, husbands, they're going to be fathers, and they're going to be leaders. And you want to talk about, how they could have a positive impact on the world and what they do. And so I think even though, you get caught up into a season, you have to still understand, the young men that you're putting out in the world. And certainly that's a great thing.
No midweek game this week. SMU comes in on Saturday. What does the schedule this week allow you to do?
We got to get better in close games. I mean, you can make an argument that, we could have won, 3 or 4 of those games. They were 50-50 games, and some of it was stuff that we didn't do, and some of it was bad luck. I mean, the ball bounced a couple ways, a couple times. Sometimes you look at the tape and you're like, man, goodness, if the ball bounced this way, if we get on the basketball and tie it up, it's our held possession at Virginia Tech. It's weird because we've had some great moments. Offensively, I would love for us to score a few more points. We've got to start winning the little intangible stuff during the game, the offensive rebounds, the 50-50 basketballs, because when you go back, it's so many of those plays that could, help you win a one-possession game. But, it's frustrating to our staff. It's frustrating to our players. But anybody's watching and they don't understand that our guys are playing hard every game, and we're in every game. And, it could certainly go our way. And we're going to stay positive and continue to build on it and, work on some things this week, more situational things towards the end, so we can make sure that we get all on the same page. This group, because we don't have the dynamic score, has to play together for the entire time. And so you always, even the last 2 or 3 minutes is even more important that we play all together, because we don't have that guy that can just say, go and get you a basket. We got some guys that in moments can, but in certain situations we have to create for each other. You look at our game against Cal, we got great shots. We made our first 3. And then we missed our last 9. We were 1 for 10 from 3. And I don't care who you're playing, when you get good shots and those shots don't go in, it's tough. And our guys didn't mean to miss them. We just missed them. We had great looks, and they obviously didn't go in. And if those 1 or 2 of those go in, you have a different game also. So we're just going to keep plugging away. When you lose close games, you got to understand that they're close games and they could go one way or the other. So you think about it, it's so much it's a thin line between winning and losing. Mm-hmm. If you lose the game, everything stinks. If you win it, everything that didn't smell well is good. And it should never be that way, but that's just how it is. So you got to flip your mind and move on to the next game. And, our guys are, bothered by it, which I like it. We don't want to accept the fact that, we're losing close games. This is not a program built on losing close games or, hey, moral victories. We want to continue to get better and grow from it. But you also have to say, if that ball, if 1 or 2 shots goes in, you win it. So how will you feel? It's a mindset, going into it.
There are reasons more than excuses, I think, for the 2-5 record, but you're right. They are right there. I mean, they're 9-9, but they could easily, really, truly easily be 12-6. They're like 8 total points away from being 12-6.
Well, let's talk about Ben Middlebrooks. He's emerged as an impact player, particularly on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah.
That really showed up, I thought, in the Virginia game. NC State played an amazing first half against the defensive-minded Cavaliers, built a double-digit lead, led by as many as 14 points early in the second half. That's when Virginia kind of adjusted its game plan, started going inside. And you did not have your best interior defender, Ben Middlebrooks, to stop some of that and slow it down. And the Cavaliers found some momentum, some success by scoring in the paint. All of a sudden, they begin to make jump shots and threes. They come back, take the lead, ultimately win a close game, another close game. And then you see what happened at Virginia Tech a week ago. Again, the Pack played great in the first half, built a double-digit lead midway through the second half. NC State still got a double-digit lead against the Hokies. What happens? Ben Middlebrooks gets in foul trouble, and it's almost like he goes to the bench. It's almost like the Virginia game all over again. All of a sudden, the Hokies get comfortable on the offensive end. They score inside and out. Ben Middlebrooks on your bench, again, your best interior defender. So it shows what an impact player he has become, again, particularly on that end of the floor. And even in the Cal game Saturday, you got a tight ball game in the first half, and the game was tight throughout. But again, Middlebrooks gets in foul trouble at about the 10-minute mark, goes to the bench with 2 fouls, didn't play the rest of the half. So, we talked to Coach Keats on the radio show on Monday, and yeah, he's a guy that's got to find a way to stay on the floor.
Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling. But what's really made Ford F-Series #1 is you.
Now get up to $11,624 in total savings on select 2024 F-150s, only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
So, sitting here, and for those of you listening to us right now, and it's easy to kind of fall in this trap, and I get it. When you're on a 3-game losing streak, it's tough to find diamonds in the rough. It's hard to find a reason to be optimistic. Mm-hmm. But there was no reason to be optimistic at the end of the regular season last year either. They lost 4 in a row, and then they turned it around on a dime. I think it's worth remembering right here at this stage, at 2-5, NC State, that means you've played 7 ACC games. That means you're 3 games away from the halfway point of the ACC season.
A lot of ball left.
So unlike a Miami, you see there's, all you see is the cliff. Well, there's no cliff when you're competing most nights with very good teams. But another reason you can point to some optimism, I suppose, if you choose to do that. Some people just don't. Some people don't choose to do it. I do.
I recommend.
You can look back at certain games, certain segments of games, and say, wow, you know what? This is who they potentially could be. Yeah. I mentioned that first half against Virginia. I don't remember an NC State team executing that well on the offensive end against the Cavaliers, particularly in Charlottesville. Yeah. Their defense tends to ramp up even a little bit more when they're playing in their home arena. It's like the loudest cheers you get in John Paul Jones Arena is when Virginia's about to get a shot clock violation on defense, right? It's kind of odd, but that's what the program's been built on. So you look at that half and say, well, you know what? They were really good that first half. Or you look at the first 30 minutes against Virginia Tech, same thing. Wow, that looked like a really good basketball team. So, there's potential there. Where they play at a high level in sequences or segments of games, but they've had a hard time sustaining that. And that really is a source of frustration for Coach Keatts. He appreciates the fact that they are capable of playing elite basketball at times, but he doesn't appreciate the fact that then that all of a sudden, right out of the blue, in a given game, that team disappears.
Well, I was thinking about this yesterday. There are two types of coaches right now whose teams are having a hard time getting over the hump. There's the one coach who goes out, his team is having a difficult time competing. They're losing by double digits almost every time out. It's probably kind of a hopeless feeling when you're in one of those situations. Or there's the coach like yourself whose team is competing and very close to winning ball games, and you know it's right there. So which of those two coaches is most frustrated, you or the guy that's been losing by double digits every time out?
Well, I don't know if we can pick one. I think both of them are frustrated, but you know we're in every game, and we're right there to win every game. When you look at what do we played 6 of our games have really come down to the stretch, and 2 of them we lost 4 of them. And then the other one at Wake Forest, I didn't think we played great, but still wasn't in a fashion where I never thought our guys played hard. You can live, as a coach, you can live but not accept. You can live with the fact that your team is playing extremely hard. That doesn't mean that you're accepting defeat, but your team is playing hard and you are in every game, and that makes you feel better than that coach whose team is just not competing and you don't even give yourself a chance. We're giving ourselves a chance, and we got to continue to do that.
Kevin, you have a lot of mentors in the coaching business, among them your former coach, and of course we've talked about Coach Pitino here on this show. When you're going through a tough stretch like this, do you lean on some of those mentors?
Yeah, well, we talk, and here's the thing about coaches during the season, they all have their own issues. And, whether they're winning or not, there's something to complain about or something. Very seldom do you get a conversation with a coach and say, man, I'm so happy my team's doing this like this. So, have I called coach and say, this is what I'm going? No, we have normal conversations, and how's your team doing? And, I know his complaint was early on, and I don't know how they're doing now. His team wasn't shooting the ball well, and I said, well, mine either. So, they kind of goes their way, and I probably need to call him and said, hey, you're talking about shooting. We were 1 for 10, from 3. So, but it's not one of those things where, you just sit. But every coach during this year have their own issues, no matter if they're winning or losing.
You've said it many times on this show. You don't sleep very much. Is Coach Pitino kind of like that? Is he one of those guys that stays up all night watching tape or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, if you've been in this business for a long time, one of the things that you've kind of came up with is you're a night owl or early morning guy, and you could be both. And in my situation, I'm both. I don't sleep, and I get up early anyway. And so sometimes I have to try to make myself go to sleep because I'm always trying to figure out how to get our team better.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Carolina Ford Dealers. See your Carolina Ford dealer, proud sponsor of NC State Athletics.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling. But what's really made Ford F-Series #1 is you.
Now get up to $11,624 in total savings on select 2024 F-150s, only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Coca-Cola. Crisp, refreshing, and irresistibly tasty. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
You know, you mentioned a three-point shot. The Cal game, you look at NC State, Jaden Taylor made the first three. They didn't make another one the rest of the game. They go 1 for 10. Okay, think about how hard it is to win a game in this era of college basketball when you only make 1 3. That means you had to do a lot of other things well.
Really well.
Just to have a chance?
Yeah, no, in a lot of ways, what they've done is really impressive. It's just a hard pill to swallow. Yeah. To be 2 and 5 at this point, the way they've done it, is in some ways bizarre. 9th in the nation in fewest turnovers a game. Elite defense at times. You're holding the #1 ACC scoring team 21 points below their average in North Carolina. I mean, that's fantastic stuff, but then late you're losing, and it's gut-wrenching.
So, you know, NC State's got a long way to go before it can even think about putting itself back in a position to play in the NCAA tournament. Right now you got a net ranking of 118. So they're going to have to beat some good teams. They're going to have to get on a winning streak. But, you know, the old coaching line is, hey, just beat SMU, you know, at home, one game at a time. And then that's going to be tough because you play SMU Saturday, then you go over to Duke on Monday, playing a national championship contender at Cameron Indoor Stadium, a team that's just playing incredible basketball right now with a 12-game winning streak. So the ACC spent a lot of time last summer, Commissioner Jim Phillips getting together with the ADs, the coaches, coming up with a blueprint. What can we do to get more teams in the NCAA tournament? So as you look at you kind of focus in on that quest for this season, where's it headed in your mind? 5
are locks right now. I mean, at current, I think there's no doubt Duke, Louisville, Clemson, Pittsburgh, and North Carolina are in as of today.
Let's do their net. Louisville's 29, Clemson 31 in the net. I think they're better than 31, to be honest with you.
Good team.
Pitt 33, North Carolina is 38, coming off a 1-point loss against Stanford. So then, you know, what's next? Florida State has worked its way up to 67.
SMU.
Yeah, I forgot about SMU. Yeah, SMU 14 and 4 overall, 3 and 6, 36 is the net, and then you got Wake Forest at 77. I think that Wake Forest will continue to trim upwards.
Big week for them.
Yeah, and so 77. I don't think that's necessarily an accurate representation of where they may be in a month or so. I think they'll have a shot.
I think the league is looking right now, if I had to just totally guess, I think 6 probably get in. 5 are locked in right now. I think a 6th will get in somehow, some way, and then there may be more than that if you get a couple teams play well here down the stretch.
Well, we'll see how it goes, and we're not February yet either. I guess that'll wrap it up for us.
All right, buddy.
Get ready for SMU on Saturday.
That's right. Kind of a quiet week, and then SMU on Saturday.
I know that it's been a long time since you lived in North Carolina, but I will guarantee you, one day, in the not too distant future, we will actually hit 50 degrees.
You have no idea how warm it is right now outside for the context of the Pacific Northwest. It is a balmy January. There's no, Tony, there's no neck-breaking ice outside. I don't know what to do with my shoes have traction on the ground.
Well, shoot me a text tomorrow. I'll see where we are.
That's true. Fair enough.
Thank you for listening. He's Chaz. I'm Tony. Talk to you next time.